Yo, we're back with another Jujutsu Kaisen Phantom Parade video, and today I'm going to be talking about some assets and leaks of some potential future characters that are going to be coming. So first up, we have Mahito. This art right here is the art from the friendship top, and then this is going to be the character art. So now, as you can see, just from looking at the art, there's a pillar. They're looking like they're inside of some kind of building. If you've seen the recent episode, you already know this is the subway station in the Shibuya arc. So, just judging by that and based on the current timeline of the current episodes, there's a possibility that he might actually be coming very soon. It could be within a month. Of course, I could be wrong. This is just speculation, but I'm assuming that he's probably going to be very soon because, like, what's the best time to release a character than now when the hype is happening? Now, in terms of how they're gonna, install him into the game, see how he plays and whatnot. This is gonna be way out there, but of course, just having the fact that he can possibly one shot or execute an enemy, I think is better to say execute is an enemy or a mob would actually make him very unique, and I'd actually really like to see that, and maybe make it to where it's at a certain threshold, whether it be 30%, and then that's when they execute, and like he just transfigures them, and then they just get executed and insta die. Which I mean, maybe not 30%, 20%, because I feel like that'd be a little bit too powerful. Because 30% is still a good chunk of a mob's HP, but something of the sort. But I don't really see it like I don't really see them doing that. I just feel like that's way over the top. That just nullifies like just doing damage. That's just you literally just execute. It's just it gets past defensive quotas. Like I don't know, barriers, defense up. Like it's just stuff like that. It just gets by it. So maybe not that, but maybe if they go through a different route, like I don't know, inflict like a transfiguration debuff, and he does increase damage to enemies who have this debuff. It could be a passive ability, or it could possibly be on one of his skills, something like that. Maybe one skill applies it, and then the other skill does the damage, or maybe give him like AOE capabilities. I mean, I don't really see it, but I don't know. Make something a little bit spicy. Try to make him feel very unique and have its own kind of play style based on just his technique, kind of do something like how they did Gojo and how he leaves after 7 turns, stuff like that. Because those things are actually pretty cool. It's kind of like a nerf to Gojo, but I mean, he's so cracked it doesn't even matter. He does plenty enough damage in those 7 turns to warrant it. So we'll see how they do for him as a character, but I'm really hoping they do something that makes him feel very lively, very different than the other characters. Keep the spice up. Make the characters feel a lot different. Make each character so unique that you could just play one character and then play another, and then you could have fun with both characters rather than always forcing you to play with that same character all the time because they're just overpowered. But yeah, I kind of suspect that this character is going to be coming very soon, so I'd probably halt on spending your currency until maybe close to when the current banner is about to leave. So that way, you will probably get some news on what the next character will be, and if it's in, then cheers. If it's not, I mean, if it's somebody else hype, then I mean, that's good too. Plus, we're going to be getting all those free tickets and stuff like that for SSRs, so might maybe want to save a little bit. Next up, we have Mei Mei. Just judging by how her technique is and how she is, how the mommy is, I have a very, I don't think you could really call it a suspicion, but I have a very good feeling, a very good hunch that she's going to be very similar to Maki in terms that her DPS output is just going to be based on taijutsu or melee or whatever you want to call it. And I feel like maybe she might be very simple, but if you want to consider into the fact of her crows, I have no absolute clue how they're going to implement her crows. whatsoever. I've been thinking about it, but I've been drawing blanks. I don't really know how they can really make her unique using the crows. Yeah, no matter how much I think about it, I'm drawing blanks. Like, if you guys have any ideas or thoughts, or maybe you could share your perspective in the comments below. So yeah, that's the mommy. I'm gonna be pulling for her. I'd be a fool to skip her. That's just not me. And then maybe on her banner, she might have her little brother on the banner, and maybe the little brother compliments her. You know, gives her like increased damage or something. Like maybe it's a targeting effect that buffs her, or something of the sort. And let's go next character. So next up we have Noritoshi Kamo from that Jujutsu High whatever competition. It's been a while since I've seen it, and I haven't really been reading the story in the game. But we all know his technique is blood manipulation. Overall, just based on how his technique is, I think he's going to be a very simple character, not very complex at all. He's just going to be a DPS carry of some sort that's based on magic rather than taijutsu. Uh, I think when he drops, I'm probably not going to summon for him unless he's like absolutely a powerhouse, or unless they make him very unique. I mean, maybe they could do something like where he switches stances since he's very proficient in a lot of different arts. So maybe they could make it to where like he switches his stances, or I mean, that's way out of the ballpark, but I don't know. Give him something to unique, I guess, to like make him feel like a character that you want to pull for. Overall, that's his character art, and he's probably gonna be coming who knows when. All right, next up we got Sukuna, obviously the Chad. Now they got the robe. It's Sukuna. Like, I mean, what is there to say? He's gonna be some OP onslaught of a character. It's gonna be, at least I think he's gonna be OP. There's no way they make Gojo OP and they don't make Sukuna OP. All right, that's crazy. That's some nonsense if they don't. I'm not gonna really cover too much on what I think his kid is gonna be, because I feel like I need a more of a reference on time frame, on what time frame this character is. And just by appearance, I'm just gonna assume that it's like at the earliest when Itadori first meets him. I could be wrong, of course. It could be one from way in the future or whatever. It could be some other thing. I don't know. But just based on it, I'm just gonna take it from a grain of salt and just say you know it's gonna be a very early one. It's just gonna be the one that meets Itadori, inside his domain, inside of Itadori. But yeah, that's his friendship arc, just like Meme and Mahito's. All right. So next up, we're going to Utahime. Now, I'm actually keeping a lookout for this character just based on speculation of how her technique works in the series, and she's more of like a utility supportive kind of character. Like, I know she can create barriers and amplify other people's thirst energy. I believe that's what you call it. And just overall, just thinking about that, kind of just I'm really hoping the character is a utility, like just straight up utility, nothing else. Have it to where she can buff your team's damage dealt, or maybe their taijutsu or magic damage, whatever, and then have her like one of her other skills create like a team wide barrier, or maybe put it on her ultimate. That would be good too. So I feel like maybe a barrier every turn would be kind of way too strong. Have it to where her buff to do damage it costs spirit energy or cursed energy or whatever, and then have it to where her ult that uses the other energy is the barrier, or vice versa, but just one that kind of limits the character, so it's not like overpowered, but something that kind of makes the characters. I feel like making a character like that would make her a real staple on a lot of teams, and it kind of forces you to always use her. But like, I mean, there's not a lot of moments to get this character to shine, and I feel like it shouldn't be that big of a deal. You probably just put the character, have utility purposes, have amplification of damage and barriers. just stuff like that. That would be pretty cool. And she'd be an amazing character to add on to any team. It'd make her extremely flexible. So I think that'd be pretty good to release the character as just full on utility, and hope that they don't kind of make it one or the other. Have it to where she has both rather than just having either barriers or amplification damage. But overall, this is the character I'm gonna be look out for. I'm kind of having high expectations for this character just based on techniques, because every game always has that one shining horse that just has all this utility that just supports your main carries and your team wide survivability. These are all the characters that we have so far in some of the assets. Might be able to get a few more in the near future. Other than that, thank you guys for watching. I'd appreciate it if you guys can like and subscribe. Peace.